Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us on the podcast where good health hits home, spinoff of your CBD store and SunMed products. We were talking with Rachel Quinn. She is 34 years old, originally from Buffalo, New York, has 3 children, resides in Bradenton, Florida. Rachel got into the CBD business in 2018 after CBD helped subside symptoms from her Crohn's disease. Since opening the first Your CBD store in March of 2018, the brand has grown to over 450 Your CBD stores across the U.S. Your CBD store exclusively carries SunMed CBD. Rachel really enjoys this more than anything because of the help the products have been able to give her customers, and with all the store owners that have been able to find success in opening up Your CBD stores. Welcome, Rachel.
Hi, thank you.
Hey.
Long time no talk.
Yeah, so we're going to actually continue from what we were just talking about. So we were just speaking on what is CBD, and we talked about what CBD is and how it works in the body by promoting the endocannabinoid system to produce more on its own. We also talked about what customers should look for before purchasing CBD. The certified lab testing, the transparency of the company, making sure there's 2 tests, one on the product, but also on the manufactured good at the end of the production of the product. One thing that was spoken about was the commitment to quality. Some of the sponsorships, the new SunMed project in Mexico for the orphanage there. So more than a quality product, but everything that the company is doing for the community and throughout the U.S. and even the world. So all exciting stuff. We're going to just kind of pick up from there. We also talked about how the new laws have are going to help regulate CBD and our excitement in that, weeding out those that are just sticking anything in a bottle and slapping a label on it. So we're excited for the lawmakers to come in and get some of that regulated for sure.
Yeah.
So the CBD market and where you see it going with the new laws and things like that. Let's talk a little bit more about that, and then we're going to get into where our product comes from specifically.
Oh, yeah. So I think the new laws and helping regulate it, it's going to be good all around. I mean, kind of what we were talking about, early or before was, we're a great CBD company and there's other great CBD companies out there, but there's a lot of bad ones too. And they're not even companies. It's just, producing oil and, slapping a label on it and throwing it out there. So I think they're regulating, it's just going to be good for our business in general. We're a community of people as well, trying to, get the highest quality of product out there for customers. Cause I mean, most people doing this, they use it themselves, their customers, and it's important to them. So I think it's going to be great for the market. Like I said, we have our in-house chemist, Dr. Anthony Ferrari. He is in contact with the hemp czar of Florida, Holly Bell. And so we're always staying up to date, always trying to be ahead of the curve and really stay on top of things. And, you can always trust that you're getting a good product when you're using SunMed CBD. You can always trust that what is on the bottle is in the bottle. And, that's something you don't have to question, especially like most people trying it, brand new, even stepping out of the box to even trying hemp to begin with, because of, in the past, there's a huge stigma to it. And to even, so for a lot, so for some people it's a jump. I mean, I have customers at my store that are like, oh my God, I wouldn't even ever think of doing this. And then my daughter, made me try it and I just can't live without it now. I can't believe I even thought about that. And so I think that's, really important. You can always trust if you come into a Your CBD store, you will get any of your questions answered. You'll get a high quality product and you'll get the best care. I mean, we love our customers and just try to, treat them the way we want to be treated, which is being educated on, what I'm spending my money on and what I'm trusting to, maybe help me feel better.
Yeah, I'll really.
Yeah.
So Rachel, where does SunMed CBD come from?
So we get our oil from either Colorado or Oregon. They're both grown under hemp pilot programs. non-GMO. They're, obviously, like we talked about, before, third-party tested, the extract and then the finished good. In the reports, they test for heavy metals and pesticides. I mean, there's no stone that we leave unturned as far as, finding out, making sure we're getting the highest quality to our product available. So that we also too, they just had the USA CBD Expo, and it was in Miami. It was in August. I was pregnant with my son, so I didn't get to go. And I was so bummed. Cause like, as you know, like my husband and my brother, my whole family went, and friends, and we won. Two of our products won, best of our orange tincture, broad spectrum, and our topical relief cream. They both won best of, and this is out of hundreds and hundreds of companies. And, so that was really exciting. So we have, cause it's like, we know it's the best. We have an award that says it's the best. But, so we were really honored though. It was great, cause we, like I said, we do put a ton of work into making sure we're getting the best of the best to our customers. And so to, win those awards, it was really exciting. So it's like, oh, good. Like, we're trying our best and we're doing our best, and that's, what we're getting is the best. So that's, really exciting. So look for that.
Yeah, that's awesome. So that the orange tincture, what would some customers use a tincture for?
So I have a lot of customers that come into my store, looking for relief from pain, arthritic pain, anxiety, insomnia, just kind of, if your endocannabinoid system is out of balance, if it's unbalanced, that's going to cause, it can cause inflammation in your body. They've been studying this. I think the first place to, find out that hemp was helpful was, I think, in Israel, and it was quite some time back. I should have looked that up. But I don't know where I was going with that. I started thinking about what date in Israel did they start studying it? I totally forgot what I was going to say.
So, for instance, if it wasn't just a tincture, like all together as a whole, what would you say your customers use CBD for?
Okay, so they have told me that they have used CBD. Well, I use it for an autoimmune disorder and anxiety. We have customers that use it for arthritis, pain. We have a lot of fibromyalgia customers, insomnia, depression, PTSD, migraines, skin disorders. This is just what customers come in telling me, because I work in the store regularly. I worked in the store every day before I had my son, and now I'm just kind of in and out. But this is, a customer walks in, hey, I've been dealing with, side effects from fibromyalgia. What, somebody told me this could help, or I read this could help, or I had an ad pop up on my phone, or, this or that, or this or that. So, obviously we don't make any medical claims. We always recommend people, always consult, your physician. But just from what customers, have asked about walking into my store, to me personally, when I was helping them, it's a laundry list of things that people come in for. And then, and then most of them, a majority of them come back. And so it helps them, which is incredible. It's so nice to see that. I always tell this story. It's like the first week I was open, this lady, she was so sweet. She came in and her hands were like frozen, and she used the topical relief cream. She bought some. And this is when I very first opened. I was the first store in Bradenton. And so it was very much so. There's a huge stigma. CBD was not mainstream yet by any means whatsoever. Like every person that walked in my door had no idea what it was. They just saw my sign. I had like an LED sign out front. It was new, like, oh, I saw your sign. And, what is this? Or, so it was back in March 2018. It just wasn't popular. So she came back in. So she was super hesitant and, blah, blah, blah. But then she came back. It was, maybe a couple weeks later, and she was like moving her hands. And I talked about this in like a news article too, because it was like, she moved her hands and she was like, oh my God, I haven't been able to do this in years. And so this lady was like so ecstatic, you know, she had been given this part of her life back. And that was the first time that I had seen somebody that like benefited from it the way that I did. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And then, you know, that's when we had, you know, family members like, oh my gosh, you might want to consider doing this. Like, this is really a really incredible business to be a part of.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Right. I mean, we called you, you know, you got to get in on, this is amazing, you know, cause there's like, you know, it's just cool to be a part of something like that.
Yeah, most definitely. Let's talk about some of that. I mean, so maybe talking to family about you gotta see this. This is so amazing. But really, how the store growth, was it organically? Did you work hard at it? Because I know there's over 450 brick and mortar locations now.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it happened pretty organically. It would just, you know, somebody would open up a store and then they would tell, you know, one of their friends or family. And I think it was the same thing. Like, this is amazing. Like, you know, that I know I told you about that. Like, praise God, this is amazing. It's so gratifying to work in that store. You know what I mean? Like, I love it. Cause you get people coming back that are like, you know, oh my gosh, I got this part of my life back, or I haven't, you know, had these OCD thoughts in forever, or whatever the case is. And it's just so cool and so fulfilling to help somebody with that. You know what I mean? And so it grew. And also, I mean, our products are just top notch, top of the line. And we really come first when it comes to dealing with the company. I mean, they always, you know, I've always felt like I was, you know, put first, and my opinion, as far as my experience in the store and what customers want, has always been valued. And so, yeah, I think that's why it grew so fast. It's just because of the quality of the product, the transparency, the company that it is, and the store, you know, how it's set up, and just how, you know, it's a reliable spot for a customer. I think that's how it grew fast.
Yeah, I remember I had this customer come into the St. Armand's location, and he came in dressed in a suit. One that stood out to me, he had a business suit on with a briefcase, which I haven't seen in years. And I'm thinking, like, oh, what did we do wrong?
Right. Yeah, why doesn't he have a backpack?
Yeah, like, I need to speak, you know, to the owner or manager. And so, you know, I'm like, quietly, I'm like, oh, I can help you, you know? And then he's like, I need to tell you what life change I've had. I've been on opioids for 10 years. And I came in a month ago and bought your oils and a clearamizer. And I've been on it. I take it very consistently. I'm on it 3 times a day. He's like, but by the way, which I need more. He's like, but I have cut back to half of the opioids I was taking. He's like, I've gotten
that's so cool.
Yeah, he's like, I am going to be coming off of disability. And so all these things that had went on for 10 years in his life, he had gotten into a car accident, and he was prescribed large amounts of painkillers. And to a point where what he shared is they weren't even working anymore. He was just taking them just to be normal, yet he was.
That's so sad.
Right. So he had said that he was using the oils 3 times a day, and he was using his Claramizer for emergency situations. His goal was to come completely off of the opioids. He had gotten a job, and so he really got even deeper into saying he's soon going to be looking for, a wife, and he wants to have children. And because he was a younger guy, accident when he was like in his late 20s. And so that's just one thing that stood out to me, like that gentleman I've talked about him multiple times, who's like, wow, I can't even imagine all the lives that are being touched through the quality of the products that we don't know about.
Right.
Because I have a ton of stories that I do know about, but a gentleman like this, where if he would have never came back in and shared, and I like to talk about him because I feel like you don't have to have, arthritis. You don't have to be in your 60s to look at CBD as an option. I know our customers, my average customer is over 60. And I've seen a ton of great results with that. But then there's also a side where I've seen great results for mental illness.
Right,
being able to come off of